Welcome to the Top 10 Gardener with Master Gardener Ken Lain. Gardening can be challenging, but with Ken's tips, tricks, and top 10 advice, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, welcome your garden host, Ken Lain.
As promised, I've got a list of the best landscape shrubs you could put in the yard any time of the year. So now this is the top 10 list. So I don't have them all at the garden center right now. I've got most of them, but some of these are seasonal rotations and they're starting to be shipped now. So we've got our first tree order starting to harvest. We'll have that here in a couple of weeks. So we're starting to fill up the garden center of spring this year. It takes a while. It takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plants to pull that off. But this is just the shrubs. This is the ones that outshine the rest. The ones as you walk your neighborhood, you're going, whoa, I want one of those. And you got to start with number one. This is not really an order of popularity, just alphabetical. Barberry, B. Barberries, there's all kinds of varieties. There's yellows and reds, and there's tall ones and short ones. There's spreading ones. Barberries love the wind. They've got a flower to them. They're a pollinator. They got a lot going on for them. So they like the sun. They like the dryness. They just do really well here. And they're fun to play with because there's so many colors. Rose of Sharon. This is the hardy hibiscus. The only one that really grows up here. Well, I guess there's two. Machuto's hibiscus. It's a perennial variety. But if you want a shrub, something that gets up about head high with that classic hibiscus kind of flowers, it's not as big as the one that's maybe grows in Hawaii, but it makes up for a lot more varieties. You can have a lot of varieties. There's blue varieties of hibiscus, Rose of Sharon. There's pinks and whites and yellows and purples. You can have fun with them. They get about head high, that 6 foot wide. They're just a pretty plant. Summer bloomer. Bluebeard or Coreopterus shrub. This is the ultimate pollinator. If you want more butterflies, this is the one. Blue flowers. I think it blooms longer, better, stronger, less weedy than a Russian sage, which is a kind of a hip high blue. It has the same kind of blue flower to it, but it's more ball shaped. It looks really good up in the front side of a Rose of Sharon because that blue against the pinks and the whites really looks good. So Bluebeard shrub, butterfly bush. They really do attract more butterflies. I mean, and they come in a lot of colors. In fact, we're introducing quite a few dwarfed varieties this year. So some new things even you hardcore gardeners, you've never seen this before. So we're starting to bring those in for our spring open house. I think is the Saturday before spring. Is that the 18th of March? So we'll have a big celebration. 63 years in business. We're gearing up for that. We've grown some specialty things that no one has ever seen before. They're finishing off right now. But butterfly bush, deer grass. Now, grasses, we're in the prairies, especially folks out in Paulden, the Prescott Valleys, Chino Valleys, Dewey, Mayer, Humboldt, Cornish Junction. You've got all those beautiful grass prairies. And grasses do well throughout the region here. And a lot of them are native. So deer grass is a Miscanthus. It's a variety of wild grass. It's short. It's maybe knee high. It's got a real pretty pink hue to it. It's kind of nice. So it does well. Animals don't eat it. One of my favorite right now, in fact, they're blooming in the greenhouses. If you just need a break, you're a gardener, you're kind of, okay, I need to detox for January. The holidays were rough on me. I need to just get out in the fresh air and I'm a gardener. I want to go see some plants. Come into the garden center and just take a look at the Ice Angel camellias. This is an evergreen shrub. Gets up about chest high or so. It's a shade lover, but it has this beautiful camellia flower. It's one of the only ones that's hardy at this elevation. All the other ones are tropical. So you folks from California, you love your camellias. Well, this one you can grow up here and it will survive our winters. This has got plenty of antifreeze in it where I've had hedges of camellias. They are striking, but they're a winter, very early spring bloomer. Great plant for here. Good. They go well with yews, hollies, that kind of stuff. One that's similar to that grows out in the sun, it's a native, is silverberry, gilded edge silverberry. That's the common name. So Ellie Agnes is the Latin name. So Ellie and Agnes, put those together. You've got Ellie Agnes or silverberry. This is a native plant. The native one is blue, kind of a with a silver backdrop. So it's kind of has this wild look to it. Very fragrant flower in spring, but it grows up easily above as far as you can reach your hand up in the air, and that wide or wider. It's a big old evergreen, native. Get it up to size, put it on the drip system, fertilize it until you get up to size, and then never care for it again because it's a native. It just does really well here. So I think that's a far better choice for most landscapes, especially if you're out in that wildland interface. You've got antelope and deer and rabbits eating on your stuff. They're not going to eat on this. They know don't mess with barberry. Makes your throat all scratchy. I don't like that. I'm going to move on. They don't bother silverberry. Good native plant, good evergreen, good bloomer, good. And that you call it gilded edge because we variegated it. So it's blue center like a native with a gold edge. It's quite striking, very pretty. I've got several in my own yards. Spireas, gold flame spirea, great little plant for you. This is a knee-high kind of plant. So spirea is kind of an old-fashioned plant. Your grandparents grew spireas, but the beauty is they bloom in the spring for a very long time. They're very drought hardy. Animals don't eat them. I mean, come on, that's like the trifecta. It just works. They'll take our wind. So it's all the spireas, but gold flame, I like the gold colors because they're so hard. It's hard to find a gold plant that won't scorch in the sun. But barberry and spirea, they're so robust, they'll easily do that. And now you can put that into that chocolate rock in your yard. So it's the darker colored mocha rocks. So it's kind of the thing this year. Next year it'll be pink or red or who knows what, white. But right now it's the dark colors. And so blue and dark green colors, they're hard to design with that. But the bright yellows, oh, it's quite striking. So gold flame spirea. Grow low sumac. Again, another native. This one grows not quite knee high, spreads out across the yard, good at holding hillsides down, but it's a true native. I mean, it's true. It's one of the first you saw a low growing plant back in autumn that was red and orange in color out in the forest. That was low growth sumac. You can grow that yourself. You can plant it and go, I want some more natives back here. And they're quite striking. So good plant. Lavender, herbs, rosemaries, all this thyme. I've got all these herbs. Herbs do wonderfully up here, but lavender specifically, knee-high, gray to blue foliage to it, has a purple flower. It's so fragrant, so pretty. And the only way you're going to kill lavender is if you overwater it. It wants to be dry. I mean, like bone dry half the time. Like forget to water. You're watering your roses, don't water the lavenders. You're watering your dahlias, don't water the lavender. And it will thrive for you. It's just a good plant for your Salvia gregii or autumn sage. This was probably a number one seller at the garden center, at least the last few years. It's a knee-high plant. And the reason is it blooms a long time, April through October, November. It's easy to maintain. You just kind of stays a little ball shape. You kind of you give it a haircut now through February, just kind of quick trim, fertilize it, and it just blooms all the time. Hummingbirds love it. So we got a little red flower, but we're also introducing a new purple variety and a new apricot. So we're trying to introduce, and a new pink. We've got 3 new colors coming out this year. You'll find here at Waters that we'll be the only ones that have it because it's just a striking plant for here. Mock orange smells like oranges. You folks in the Midwest, you know what mock orange is. Head high plant. It's a companion with lilacs, which is also on the list. So a Machuto's hibiscus. This is the perennial. It's a perennial, guys. It resets underground, comes back fresh up to about hip high, and it has the traditional hibiscus, like tropical size. It's bigger than your hand. It's really pretty. You folks from the South, they call it the Confederate rose. So that's another name, depending on where you're at. Now I'll leave you with Nandina or heavenly bamboo. This is a great plant for winter because it just looks good all the time. And there's your I don't know, 17 or so shrubs of the Mountain West. Be right back with more after this. Not everyone can grow wildflowers, but we'll make sure you're not one of them.
At Waters, we know which wildflowers sprout, thrive, and bloom with success.
We're wild about wildflowers with many of our own Arizona blends.
Like our Arizona native mix, butterfly and hummingbird mixes, and all are big, bold, and beautiful.
At Waters, we know wildflowers, and winter's a season to spread new seed.